She argued with you about drinking?
Objection, Your Honor. Same grounds.
Your Honor, the question was that she argued with her about drinking. That is probative because it goes to the defense's specific contention that Jordan Ryder was worried. I'm not asking her about whether or not she was drinking. I'm asking her about whether Ms. Ryder was aware. And because we're not able to recall witnesses, that's why I'm asking her at this time.
All right, I'm going to sustain this objection as well.
Yes, Your Honor. She argued with you that she didn't think Parker was safe in your home, right?
I believe so, yes.
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay. Overruled.
Your sister told you that she didn't think Parker was safe in your home.
At one point, yes, she did.
She said she was worried about Parker.
Of course, Jordan was Parker's mom.
Ma'am, you told us a lot about how Jordan Ryder reacted to Parker's diagnosis, but you never saw Jordan Ryder get violent toward her little girl, did you?
Not in the 6 weeks that she was back, no.
You never saw her get violent to her daughter in her daughter's entire lifetime, right?
No, not in the time that they spent together, no.
So, ma'am, it's fair to say you've taken on a lot of responsibility because of your sister.
Yes, I mean, been a roller coaster of a few years, yes.
And today you're in court testifying for the state against your sister.
I'm just here to talk about Parker, about the weeks leading up to her death.
Well, ma'am, you'd agree with me that no matter what evidence I showed you, you would always believe that your sister is guilty.
At the end of the day, again, Jordan was responsible for Parker that day. Parker should have never been at that campground in the first place.
Miss Dallas, that's a yes to my question. You'll
Yes.
always be certain, no matter what, that your sister is guilty?
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Dallas. No further questions.
All right, does that prompt any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor. We ask Ms. Dallas to be excused.
Thank you, Ms. Dallas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, while the jury takes notes, maybe set up the courtroom for demonstrative.
You may.
Your Honor, before we begin, I move Exhibit 7 and 23 into evidence. Pursuant to stipulations 3 and 8, both parties waived objections and they can be entered at any time.
All right, do you agree with that?
That's our understanding as well, Your Honor.
All right,
Show me, counsel.
thank you.
Would Your Honor first copy?
I'd like the ones that you're entering into this.
And we'll be referring to an enlargement of Exhibit 7 and a portion of Exhibit 23 on direct examination.
All right,
May I publish to the jury?
yes.
Your Honor, the state calls Kelly Dews to the stand.
All right.
May I proceed?
You may.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Hello, my name is Kelly Dews.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Dews?
Well, I'm a food blogger. I make videos on how to make like traditional South African foods. You know, like biltong, gherkins, robust tea, that sort of thing.
How did you become a food blogger, sir?
When I came here about 5 years ago from Johannesburg, I originally wanted to be a rugby player. But after I sustained a pretty nasty injury to my wrist, I decided it was time to settle down and look for a career. I've always loved South African foods, and I just wanted to bring that to the States.
Mr. Dews, do you know why you're testifying in court today?
Yes, I was at the same campground, Calkins campground, as Parker Page, the day of that terrible incident, July 14th.
What were you doing at the campground that weekend?
My wife had been encouraging me, you know, to get out of the kitchen, get some fresh air and stretch my legs. I did tell her I was a bit nervous, but I decided to go for a hike that day at the Calkins campground.
Your Honor, I'm approaching the witness with what's been entered as Exhibit 23.
Thank you.
You just told the jury that you went hiking at the Calkins campground. Which trail did you go on?
This loop here, called the Lacron Loop, is where I spent most of my day. I started at the bridge here, and I walked all the way around clockwise.
Your Honor, I'm revealing an enlargement of the Lacron Loop.
All right, do you have any objections to that being shown to the jury?
I do not. I'm just going to move so I can see it.
All right, please do.
You said you went hiking on the Lacron Loop, Mr. Deuce. When you were hiking on this loop, did you have cell service?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to send texts while you were on the loop?
I didn't send any, but I could have.
When you were on the Lacron Loop, did you ever run into the defendant?
I did, yes. I did see Jordan Ryder and her daughter Parker right there at the intersection of the Lacron Loop and the Calkins Rock Overlook.
I'm putting a green sticker on the intersection. Is that the right spot, Mr. Deuce?
Yes, that's the spot.
When you saw the defendant and Parker at that intersection, were they standing near anything?
Yes, they were standing right at the edge of a pretty sheer cliff.
Your Honor, I'm revealing an enlargement of Exhibit 7. Mr. Deuce, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do. That's the cliff.
When you saw the defendant and Parker at the edge of this cliff, what were they doing?
They were arguing. I do remember at the time that it was quite loud.
Did you speak at all with the defendant or Parker?
Yes, I did. Contrary to what most people might think, South Africans are quite a nosy people, so when I ran into Jordan Ryder on the trail, we had a little chat. But I didn't stay for very long because I was a little uncomfortable.
Why were you uncomfortable, sir?
Jordan almost hit Parker with a hiking staff.
Your Honor, I'm approaching counsel and the witness in turn with Exhibit 17.
Yep.
Mr. Deuce, what am I holding?
That's the staff.
Does it look fair and accurate as the last you saw?
It does, yes.
Your Honor, we move Exhibit 17 to that.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, Exhibit 17 is admitted.
You said the defendant almost hit Parker with his hiking staff. Could you describe to the jury, what did you see?
Well, Parker was tapping Jordan on the back of the leg with the hiking staff. I thought it seemed pretty harmless. You know, like a child playing.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation as to it seemed pretty harmless.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Yes.
Mr. Deuce is just describing exactly what he saw. He said that Parker was tapping Jordan on the back of the leg, and to him, it seemed pretty harmless.
All right. Let's keep it to what he saw rather than him characterizing it, so I'm going to sustain the objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
Motion to strike that testimony?
The part about him saying it seemed harmless, yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Deuce, what exactly did you see the defendant do?
Jordan, she grabbed the hiking staff out of Parker's hands, nearly pulling her to the ground. And then as soon as Parker stood back up, she jabbed the hiking staff at a hip. But Parker jumped out of the way before Jordan could hit her.
Sir, after seeing the defendant jab the hiking stick towards Parker, what did you do?
After I saw that jab, I did a little bit of hiking to get away. But then at around 4:40, I heard Parker shouting, coming from the same spot where I saw them arguing.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation for two parts of that statement. May I be heard on those grounds?
Yes.
First, Mr. Deuce testified that this scream he heard was at 4:40 p.m. We've heard no foundation laid to say that he can testify to that time exactly. Secondly, he said that the scream he heard was Parker. We've also heard no foundation laid that Mr. Deuce can say for certain that scream was Parker Page.
All right, response?
Yes, Your Honor. As to the first point, the time being at 4:40, this witness can testify as to what time he thought it was. If it was around 4:40, That's a matter of weight, not admissibility, and counsel can cross-examine.
Okay.
As for recognizing the voice, pursuant to 901B5, it's sufficient foundation to recognize someone's voice is if they've heard it in the past. We've laid the foundation that Mr. Deuce had a conversation with the two of them. He's allowed to testify if he recognized someone's voice.
May I respond to the 901B5?
Yes, because I'm going to overrule the one about him not knowing what time it was.
Yes, Your Honor. In terms of the 901B5 opinion about a voice, the voice has to be based on hearing that voice at another time under circumstances that connect it with the alleged speaker. Now, what this means is that the circumstances that they heard the voice in the past and at this time have to be similar or the same, so as that they can connect. Hearing her speak versus hearing a single scream, those are completely different circumstances, and that's not sufficient foundation to say that Mr. Deuce can identify a scream. That sounds a lot different than someone talking.
All right, your point is well made. I'm going to overrule that objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's right. Mr. Deuce, you just told the jury you heard Parker yelling. Could you tell the jury, did you make out what she was yelling?
She was yelling, I wish you'd never got out of prison. I hate you.
After you heard Parker Page yell, I hate you, did you hear anything else?
The next thing I heard was a really loud scream.
Could you describe to the jury what did that scream sound like?
I could definitely tell it was a person. It was really high-pitched. I've never heard anything like it. Only lasted a couple of seconds. Then it all of a sudden just stopped. Everything went quiet.
You said this happened around 4:40. Mr. Godet, could you write that time down? Mr. Deuce, I'd like to talk about the next day. Did you ever see Parker Page again?
Yes. The next morning, I was writing down some recipes for a barbecue I was hosting that week when the police came to my cabin. They showed me a picture of Parker Page. I helped them look for her body.
Were you able to find her body, sir?
Yes. We found her body at the base of the cliff where I saw them arguing.
Mr. Deuce, if given the opportunity to use this large version of Exhibit 7, could you show the jury where you found her body?
Yes, of course.
Your Honor, may Mr. Deuce step down?
Yes.
If you could, Mr. Deuce. Now, you told the jury earlier that you saw the defendant, Parker Page, arguing at the edge of this cliff. Could you put this orange sticker where you saw them arguing?
Sure. Like I said, they were arguing at the top of the cliff here.
And you said you found her body at the base of this cliff. Could you put this pink sticker where you found her body?
You can't see it in this picture, but behind this hill here, there's a ravine. That's where we found the body, right at the base of the cliff.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, we have no further questions.
All right.
Would counsel like me to be instructed?
You can leave out the map, but yeah, that one is
Certainly.
good to go. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Good afternoon, Mr. Deuce.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm fine. Now, I want to talk about something you mentioned on direct examination.
Sure.
You told us that when you were on the Leckrone Loop, you had cell phone service, right?
Yes, I did.
But sir, you didn't have cell phone service on all of the trails at the Calkins campground, did you?
I didn't have cell phone service at the base of the trails, like there's sort of a valley.
Well, Mr. Deuce, actually that morning when you hiked one of the other trails, you noticed that your phone couldn't receive text messages, right?
Right on one of the other trails, yes. On the Leckrone Loop, it was fine though.
Mr. Deuce, it wasn't until you got off the trails and were near the campsites that your phone came back into service.
When I was near the trailhead of the Lacroix Loop is when my phone, the service came back,
Right, when you were by the trailhead near the campsites, right, Mr. Dukes?
right near the picnic tables.
Now, I want to talk about where you ended your conversation with Mr. Wilson.
Sure.
You were with the police on July 15th when they found Miss Page's body, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
At that point, the police hadn't asked you for an official statement.
Not at that point, we were looking for Parker Page.
So you hadn't given the police all the information about what you'd seen the day before.
No, they needed my help to look for her body.
Despite not giving the police all of that information, you heard officers make accusations about Miss Ryder, right?
I think that they were talking about Miss Ryder, yes.
When the police found Parker's body, you heard an officer say, "I can't believe Jordan Ryder would do such a thing."
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay.
May I respond?
You may.
This is a statement of belief. Under 8033, it qualifies as an exception.